Attrition. Beach materials knock together in water, reducing their size and increasing their roundness and smoothness. Hydraulic action. When a wave impacts a cliff face, air is forced into cracks under high pressure, widening them. Over long periods of time, the growing cracks destabilize the cliff and fragments of rock break off of it. Abrasion. The repeated action of waves breaking off a cliff is enough to remove material from it over time. If sand and shingle are present in the water, it will act like a sandpaper and erosion will take place faster. Corrosion is when certain types of cliff erode as a result of weak acid in the sea. All these processes erode and create a cliff face, cave. Lines of weakness such as fault cracks occur in headlands. Abrasion and hydraulic action erode the fault to form a cave. The cave is widened and deepened. The sea cuts through to form an arch.
Yeah. That being the case, maybe I'll give you a bit of next class, actually. I didn't think about that.
The sea erodes from the foot in an arch and it widens. The rock of the arch becomes too heavy and collapses. Part of the former cliff is now isolated as a stack. Over time, the stacks is eroded, it might be undercut and collapse. A stump is the remains of the eroded stack. Seawall. The wall reflects waves back out to the sea, preventing erosion off the coast. It acts as a barrier to preventing floods. Seawalls are the most effective form of flood protection. They're also the most expensive. Concrete is expensive and needs replacing every 25 years.
What's the app? I need to remember this.
Gabions. Rock-filled cages. A wall of gabions is usually built at the foot of the cliff. The gabions absorb wave energy and so reduce erosion. They are very cheap, but some say they are ugly, especially when the metal begins to rust. They can be easily damaged by powerful waves. Last 10 years. Boulders that pile up high along the coast are called riprap. The boulders absorb wave energy and so reduce erosion. Riprap looks natural and so does not spoil the landscape. It is reasonably cheap, but can shift in heavy storms, last 15 years. Groins are fences built at right angles to the coast. They trap beach materials transported by longshore drift. This creates wide beaches, which slow the waves, reducing their energy, and so gives greater protection from flooding and erosion. Groins are cheap. Unfortunately, they sometimes have the side effects of starving the beaches down, drifts of sediment and deposition. This means that they can cause increased erosion further than the coast. Last 30 years.
The groins, you see how they're at right angles?
Woven revenant. They are similar to a groin and a seawall. The woven structures break the force of the wave and trap beach material behind it. This allows for a bigger beach and are cheaper than a seawall. However, they do not give full protection and need replacing more frequently. Beach nourishment. Sand and shingle pebbles are added to the beach from elsewhere to create wider beaches. This does not solve the problem of erosion, but by topping up the sand and shingle, wider beaches protect the land behind. This is a very expensive solution and needs to be topped up regularly, a couple times each year. It is, however, extremely attractive solution as the beach looks the same last 6 months. Joe, shut up. Do nothing. Just wait for nature to take its course. Land will be lost to erosion and people may find that insurance companies refuse to insure their homes and businesses. Dune regeneration. Sand dunes are good buffers to the sea, but they're easily damaged, especially by walkers. Joe, are you for real? Okay, let's keep going. Marine grass can be found and be planted to stabilize the dunes and help them develop. Areas can be fenced to keep people off newly planted dunes. They are cheap, but can also be removed by a storm, and there is no guarantee people will stay clear of certain areas. Manage retreat. This involves allowing low-lying coastal areas to be flooded by the sea to become salt marshes. This is an example of managed retreat. Salt marshes are effective barriers to sea. They are very cheap, and it creates a new habitat for wildlife. However, land has to be lost, and farmers, landowners, will need to be paid for their land.